All in.
Oh my god, he says all in. Monarchs. He's in the zone. Chips could just go in.
Oh, what a find.
God, what a read. The biggest pot in televised history, $12.7 million. Two pair. Not a bad start for Bjorn Lee.
Let's see if Monarch starts this one off aggressively. He's been known to check back a number of flops, but he'll stab ace-10-6.
Just 25K into 100K. Quarter pot.
I'd say optional check raising hand for Bjorn. It's good enough, obviously, to raise and put a lot of money in the pot. But it's a good one to trap as well.
Well, he's going to go building the pot immediately, first hand. 115,000 is the raise.
Haven't really seen Monarch play too sticky against check raise in the past.
Yeah, hand should be over now, right? Just 8 high. Right?
Couple of backdoors, but I would pass.
Why isn't he folding yet? He has 8 high? Whoa, he's reaching for chips. He's 3-bet the flop to 375,000. First hand.
I don't know if we've ever seen this from Monarch. 3-betting the flop, Randy?
Seems ambitious. Trying to set the tone against Bjorn Lee. He's got top and bottom.
I don't think Bjorn ever expects to be ahead of value. Call makes sense to me. I mean, our hand is really strong, but Aussie representing sets, ace-10.
Turn is the 4. So Aussie just still has 8 high against 2 pair. 850,000 in the pot. Is he really going to put more chips in his pot with nothing?
I mean, Monarch has just kind of shown that doesn't mind so much what his cards are. He's just willing to go for it in certain moments. We've mostly seen that on the river, though, Randy. You've got no equity on the turn. Bjorn called 375,000 on the flop. I think it's time to give this up.
Check.
Does check it back. Give up is the play for Aussie Ketola. River card's the 7. Shouldn't change the texture too much.
Going back to flop, we don't really think ace-king, ace-queen is here. Does Bjorn just check this one over and hope to get some sort of desperate bluff on the end?
It looks like he is going to go for value, just in case his opponent did have a big ace that opted to 3-bet the flop.
Sizable.
Yeah, 550,000. Ketola still just 8-3.
I don't know, Randy. He's got that look.
I mean, what's he going to do?
We've seen some wild river bluffs from Monarch this week.
Yeah, but I just don't see what he'd be representing.
5 seconds.
He's got nothing.
All in.
Oh my god, he says all in. Seriously? $1.5 million bluff? Bjorn can't believe it. He's got 2 pair. First hand.
He's not happy about it, Randy.
What hands for value would play like this is the question for Bjorn.
That's just it. You fast play the flop. Slow down on the turn. Is this 8-9 or nothing? You don't expect a set to check turn.
It's $1 million more for Bjorn to make the call, and if he can find it, he'll be up $2 million immediately. Just a stone cold bluff by Ketola for 1.5 million.
10 seconds.
He makes the call. Bjorn Lee wins the very first match in one hand. Okay, let's take the stacks back and rematch, I guess, for another $2 million. Full pot, huh?
100,000. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for the board texture to bet big. Feeling a little thin with King of Clubs 4. A lot of weaker hands able to get away against this size.
2 pair for Bjorn Lee. If he was a little worried, he's no longer worried. Yeah, it feels like the hands that you were beating in Ketola's shoes now might pick up some kind of pair with the 9 of spades.
Definitely looks like a card to shut down on. If we continue firing here, it's a bluff.
Gives up for now. Queen of clubs. A little bit of straight got there. Flushes. Bjorn's got 2 pair.
It's the kind of river we might get raised on, but feels so important to extract value from a 10. Right now, I'd maybe even bet bigger than 100,000, but some sort of bet.
That's 100,000. Perhaps he feels that Ketola's got some kind of 1 pair hand. Or maybe he can induce a bluff like he did earlier in hand number 1.
Monarch's shown a willingness to call rivers, though, light. We saw a queen high call against Kaihan late last night that shocked us both, Randy.
Oh, is he going to go again for the raise? He already got caught for 1.5 million.
This is not going to work, Randy.
Here it goes.
No way,
Also,
right?
Ketola, 735,000 is a huge raise, though. He's got a key blocker to King of Clubs. Blocking flushes.
I do like this combo and attacking on the river. I just think that Monarch's image after that first hand is kind of in the pits.
I mean, I'm sure Bjorn's a little concerned, but then again, you just saw a man blast off 1.5 million 2-3 hands ago.
It's a real leveling war, these spots. I know that you know that I look crazy.
You're right about that. And Ketola's the type of guy who could even raise 2 pair on this type of board. 2 pair would be bigger than these 2 pair, if you're concerned. Bjorn folds the best hand. Wow, what a play from Aussie Ketola. So here we are, 400,000 in the middle. Ketola, Queen 5 of diamonds. Flops the flush draw, but look at Bjorn Lee. He's got Ace Jack high with the Ace of diamonds on a King high texture that rates to favor him. It's a $1.25. Got the Queen high flush draw. Decides to play it as a call. 650,000 now. And the flush gets there, pairing the 7. Bjorn with the Ace of diamonds in hand.
Dangerous spot for Lee. See? Yeah, he does check it over. Ace Jack can still be good at showdown here, and check calling turn, depending on the size, is still a pretty realistic option.
Yeah, I think it's kind of risky to double barrel Ace Jack on this type of run out. If your opponent has a King or 7, they're going nowhere. Sometimes with the 7, they just pile it in, and you don't really want to get blown off with your Ace of diamond nut flush draw. Just 175k. And it makes sense with his hand, right? Because sometimes your opponent could be just drawing near dead.
Yeah, this is nice. I think Monarch kind of suggesting he's as thin as like Ace 4 suited or pocket 6s or something like that, which is definitely a type of hand that wants to get a little value right now and then check back the river.
Yeah, had he gone too big, maybe Bjorn Lee hero folds some kind of pocket pair between the 7 and King that's black. In comes the call. Ketola needs to dodge a diamond. Wow, that run out is so bad for flush.
Yeah, I guess we just go check now and take this pot.
Because you might lose to a hand like queens, jacks, tens, nines, king, of course.
Yeah, it's quite easy to make a full house at this point.
$1 million pot for Aussie Ketola.
Flush.
Or perhaps a little okay with it, given he was up against ace jack. I wouldn't be able to pay off. Apparently he traveled 15 minutes away by taxi to get it for me and the team. Sevens. 3 bets to 200K. Ketola's got queen 9 offsuit.
Very tempted to quiz you, Randy, to figure out your actual taste in burgers, but I'll let this hand develop.
Of course.
I don't think Monarch's done with the queen 9.
Part of me agrees with you. Oh my god, he just jammed queen 9 offsuit. The sevens just call because we saw Kaihan Mokri call off. With sevens, he does call, and we have a coin flip. Queen 9 offsuit versus sevens in pre-flop. 2.87 million will be the pot size. And if Ketola can find a queen or 9, we're going to move on to the next match. Bjorn can't believe it. He's up against queen 9 offsuit. Let's see a flop dealer. 8, 5 deuce, 2 diamonds. Good shape for Bjorn Lee.
Backdoor flush draw. Backdoor straight draw.
Oh, the queen on the turn for Aussie Ketola. Can he hold to be even against Bjorn Lee? It's the 4. Reset the tally. 1-1.
Yeah. What's next? I guess we keep going. Same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Another $2 million match. Okay, 9-8 offsuit makes it 200,000. Bjorn's got king jack off. Can't fold when he's seen the man put in millions of dollars with queen 9 offsuit. This one is actually top pair for Bjorn Lee. Ketola's got a gut shot.
Huge flop for Bjorn's hand.
I think we're both wondering, is Ketola going to check his gut shot in this spot?
I wouldn't put it past him to check raise.
Seen him do it in the past. Dust check.
And the king jack would invite it, I think. I mean, your hand qualifies 400,000 in the pot, 1.2 million back. Bjorn's looking to get stacks in here one way or another.
Yeah, I like betting in the spot, especially on the king high texture before. He bet folded with ace 9 offsuit. Might as well bet when you actually do have it. $150,000 is the price for the gut shot. In comes the call. Pot brewing to 700,000. Pair of 8s is going to get Ketola into some trouble. It's got showdown value now.
I suspect more money is going in. The 8's not enough to slow down Lee. And Aussie clearly interested in this.
Yeah, I'd be pretty happy if I was Bjorn Lee with king jack. Kind of want to charge the straight draws and flush draws that exist.
Thing is, you don't expect that many of them once he's 3-bet pre-flop. You're thinking generally more high cards, more pocket pairs.
And again, Ketola just plays range in 3-bet pots. If I hear what you're saying. Okay, here comes the bet. 315. South of half pot. You never know what's on Monarch's mind. Hit one of the better turn cards for his hand.
I think check calling is standard. We'd seen Monarch play these low stack to pot ratio situations so aggressively in the past. I didn't want to presume, but check call is nice.
And he makes 2 pair against King Jack. Aussie Ketola. He might even just lead jam into the King Jack. You could see it, right? Not wanting a king to check it back.
I think lead would be nice.
There it is. Puts Bjorn Lee all in for his remaining $710,000. Tough spot because he knows that Ketola is capable of making some heroic bluffs.
Backdoor spades missed. You could put Ketola on ace high spades. 5-4 suited. Even just a weak pair like ace 6 offsuit might arrive here and then decide to run this bluff. It's hard to fold getting 3-1 on the end.
Just trying to break down this line that Ketola has taken. But then a part of you just remembers the man bluffed off 1.5 million in hand number 1. He does fold.
Wow.
Correctly.
This just goes in.
Raise 100.
Well,
Makes
when
it
Monarch
100K.
makes it 100, we don't need to 4-bet jam ace-10 suited. Sometimes we're just walking into better hands. Like the ace-10 suited good enough to put all the money in, but when given the option to just flat in position, maybe that's what Bjorn will choose.
Right. Is there more value in leaving some garbage hands in there and maybe save yourself against hands that dominate you? So we will go to a flop as you expected. 200,000 in the middle. Both players with the backdoor clubs. Jack high texture. Let's see if Bjorn Lee wants to continue against 125K. He's only got 550 back.
Feels like a clear call to me. We're still ahead of any bluffs. That didn't improve on the jack. Really quality backdoor draw.
He's in there. Both players making that quality backdoor draw that you just mentioned. Bjorn can get right back in this match. There's a good chance that Ketola just attacks. Pot size remaining.
Does feel like the ideal kind of hand to pile the turn and try to get ace high to fold.
Right. The only problem is this ace high has a club draw to go with it. So there's the call. King Queen versus Ace 10 of clubs. Heard the words. $1.3 million pot. Very likely to go Bjorn Lee's way. 6 outs for Ketola. And those outs do not get there. Bjorn with the check mark. 1.3 million plays 2.7.
Full stack.
Huh?
Could have been a lot worse if I actually had chips.
2 million not enough, Randy. We gotta take out our checkbook.
2 million's enough for me, but for them,
Take out the deed
Deed
to
on the
our
house.
house. What are we gonna do? Just here's the keys to my Lambo.
might have to visit the loan sharks. Both players making top pair.
Bet 25.
That was interesting. Ketola was about to bet 2 white chips and took it back and decided to go with 1 white chip for 25K.
Check.
There are many ways to chop this pot.
Yeah, the 7's still playing for now, and Bjorn picks up a gut shot to go along with his top pair. I think again he might be tempted to go for a thin check raise, just like that King 4 versus King 3 we saw not long ago. Gave this a real think when facing 55K on the turn.
Goes for the call, though.
Check.
The kicker will play King 7, as you can see, and Ketola might value on himself in this spot, trying to target the 10 or 9x.
Wow.
Bye-bye chips. But
And going
it's
for the
420
big
once again.
size.
It's the 3rd time he's bet 420K.
And this is why we've said, Randy, you have to kind of just pay off absolute strength hands. Because this kind of mergy,
It's betting 420 into 260.
it's 1.5x pot.
It's pretty uncomfortable for King 7.
This size typically reserved for 2 pair plus on this kind of board.
Call.
Makes the call. And what great news for Bjorn Lee, who levels the playing field. King 10 offsuit. Kind of think he might 3-bet this, to be honest.
Raise 200.
Yeah, just feel it. You know it.
Enough is enough, Randy. We got 2 6s. Let's see a flop.
Well, if we see a flop, there will be 400,000 in the middle.
Call.
There's that call. Wow, look at this board. Both players with an open-ended straight draw. Bjorn's got the bottom one, Ketola with the top end, but 2 overs versus the under pair.
Very dicey flop for
Oh.
the pre-flop 3-bet range.
Both players have a heart too, keep in mind.
Monarch checking, I think, the right decision here, and Bjorn's not going to be thrilled to build this pot either. I like a check back.
Well, the straight comes in from Bjorn Lee. A bit unfortunate for Ketola in the sense that some of his outs are in Bjorn's hand, the 2 6s.
Also, after check, Monarch might feel like the door is open to run a bluff. We've seen him be pretty active in these spots this match.
Check.
Does check it over. There's 2 flush draws out there. Your opponent's hand does look relatively weak to check flop and turn on this texture.
With 150.
So the smaller side is bet 150 from Bjorn.
Call.
Quick check call from Monarch. Getting a price.
River card's the ace of hearts. Also he has the king of hearts, which blocks some flushes. But he has just king 10 high. There is a chance he leads, trying to represent some kind of ace, I suppose.
I think it'd be a good spot to lead. Bjorn's line.
Whoa, he just jams all in for 1.4 million. There was just 700K in the middle. And Bjorn's got the straight.
I think he's calling Randy. 6 is 6 of hearts. We've seen enough out of line maneuvers from Monarch. We can't be folding this hand.
Can I get a count?
It's a 2x pot jam. Is he gonna call?
Monarch getting the shoes on. Getting comfortable.
60.
Of course, he's worried about the flush. Jack 10 seems unlikely given the line.
We've just seen some thin value kind of overplaying. Are we ever up against ace 9 even? Ace 8?
It's a 2x overbet jam bluff by Ketola for $1.36 million.
5 seconds.
Call.
Makes the call.
Well done.
Showdown.
Well done. Well done, Bjorn Lee. Back in the profit.
I think I
Up.
cover.
$2 million. The players have decided to play a fourth match. So the first match went to Bjorn Lee in one hand. Match 2 went to Aussie Ketola. And match 3, as you just saw, went to Bjorn Lee, who is currently up $2 million. So we're going to play for another $2 million apiece. Let's send it down. So the 7 does pair for Ketola.
Quick check back.
Bets. 75,000.
Look at King High go.
Cool.
Second time that Lee has gone for a turn probe with not much equity and unsuccessful once again. 8-7 far too strong to fold.
Oh, he's reaching for more chips. 200,000 into 250. Interesting. Bjorn.
Just playing off of the draws completing. Maybe thinking a sticky ace high or a weak pair just won't call often enough on this run out. It's just a no equity, no blocker bluff.
Not gonna work.
Picked off.
Nice one, Ketola. Let's ramp up that aggression.
75,000.
Shall we take 3?
Time to see a flop. 6-5 suited. Well, good enough in position.
Check.
Whole lot of nothing for both players.
Yeah, but Bjorn can't just stab. He knows his opponent is the type to check made hands as well.
Check.
A quick check again. That's actually a little scary.
Yeah, I like this from Monarch. I think when we've got absolute nothing here, we want to kind of check down to the river and then activate.
Right. Make it look like you've got some kind of pair that's not strong enough to bet just yet. Looks like a good spot to stab now with 4 high.
Bets. 350,000.
It's a full pot bet. Trying to rep the 8. Maybe a jack or a queen.
Bjorn's got total air here, Randy.
Is he thinking about repping the 8 himself?
5 seconds. All in.
Wow, he just jammed all in with 6 high. He doesn't believe Ketola's got it.
What a find.
Oh my god, what a read. Nice play from Bjorn Lee.
That was sick, Randy.
Jeez.
Cool.
So you betting call?
Check. Check.
Bjorn improving. The queens and 7s.
3 pair gonna seek value, perhaps.
Check.
Just checking. Hoping to catch a bluff.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't think he has the best hand. He just thinks there's more value in inducing from a bet check bet line.
Wow.
He baits the ace 10.
250,000.
Goes
Yeah,
for
and
full pot, and he
this-
gets snapped.
Greedy from Monarch. Ace 10. Probably just the right hand strength to show down, and
Yeah, I feel like the gear is shifting towards just pure aggression for Aussie. A 3-bet. Queen Jack offsuit, 150k. Bjorn's got ace 4 suited. Should be happy to call in position.
Cool.
Another 300k pot. And it comes Jack 4 deuce. What a great spot for Ketola. Top pair against middle pair with good back doors. And he goes for the sneaky check.
this where Lee is going to want to find a check back, and he does. Threat of check raise.
Picks up the gut shot. Does Aussie want to build the pot? Looks like he will. Throws in 200k. Realizes that Bjorn hasn't been doing the betting for him. Ace force not bad.
No, we have to call here in position.
Cool.
2 black chips is 200k. Pot now 700k. Oh wow, the 5 to make the wheel for Bjorn Lee.
It's very common that Bjorn will have ace high in this line in position, calling 3-bet. Check, check, flop. Aussie should recognize this. Try to show down this pair of jacks.
5 seconds. Check.
He's gonna try. But Bjorn's sitting there with the ace or the straight. Some kind of bet to try to get a crying call out of the jack. Seems nice. He's got busted hearts in range.
120,000.
320.
Yeah, half pot is nice here. Bjorn can still bluff with missed hearts. Maybe even a sticky call on the turn with king queen high.
But mainly busted hearts, right?
Those are the mandatory ones.
It's pretty annoying for Aussie Ketola.
5 seconds.
No heart in hand doesn't help Ketola. Which means that Bjorn could have those busted hearts.
Yeah, it does make this a somewhat attractive bluff catcher. Even block ace queen, which is likely to arrive at the river here and go for value.
He's gonna make the call, and Bjorn Lee wins this $1.34 million pot, taking a sizable lead. But look at this. It's 2 pair versus the straight and the flush draw. Ketola is actually a slight equity favorite.
Huge flop for Monarch.
He might just play this one fast, but he plays it slow and just calls. Doesn't make the straight or the flush.
Check.
Kind of situation where Bjorn's going to be inclined to size up. Disconnected board.
75,000.
This nearly pot, 75k into 80. Aussie's hand is strong enough to just call, but obviously check raising is an option.
Min raise is 150.
Oh, I can take it back, yeah.
Yeah.
Misclick.
No problem. Raise to 225.
Okay. He wanted to raise to 225, which is even better for Bjorn Lee, given he's got 2 pair.
All in.
In a jam from Bjorn Lee, Ketola's just going to gamble, right?
Does feel like we're priced in once we raise. Reasonable change once the size is 225, but this the intended spot.
He gets a better price when he makes it more.
2 pair.
2 pair versus
Yeah.
all those outs. 34% equity.
Big draw.
That's a big, big draw. $1.5 million pot on the line. Can Monarch get there? Keep this one going. And Monarch hits the flush. He's back. Ace is 3-betting against ace 10 off. Called. Just 8% equity. Interesting one. Aussie with a gut shot. Ace 10 high. Aces is aces.
Option to bet big here for Bjorn. Kind of polarizing spot. This just north of half pot, 220 into 400,000. Ace 10, 10 of spades looks too good to pass up on. Else we can make a big read.
Yeah, he's probably between call and raise. Call makes the most sense with position. Try to spike that queen. Maybe ace is good. Spade could be helpful. Gets the pure blank.
Awkward with just pot behind.
What bet size to go for Bjorn?
5 seconds. Bet 400,000.
Trying to bet a size to get called by both the king or the jack. But it's just ace 10 that's into the muck. It's a nice flush draw for Bjorn Lee. 10 high texture. Ketola has the backdoor diamonds. 3-2 wheel.
Bet 40,000.
Yeah, he's going to continue. And he continues with check raise almost min.
I think I heard 40,000 announced by the dealer when
Okay.
that first bet went out. I could be mistaken.
Okay, so maybe a 3x check raise. Regardless, though, king 9 suited, it's going to want to continue. The king of diamonds on the turn. That gives Aussie a flush draw after check raising the flop. But Bjorn, he picks up top pair. And Aussie checks it.
This is where Aussie's been able to avoid disaster in the past. But he's turned a great deal of equity here, and Bjorn likely to ask for more.
He wants to bet a size that a 10 doesn't hero fold. Makes it 175,000. Aussie's gonna try to hit that diamond. $680,000 pot. And the nut flush comes in for Bjorn Lee.
Honestly, I thought of this card as a worst case scenario for Ketola. We know how often he considers river leads. He's totally missed here, but a different draw has completed. A classic spot to think about activating.
Oh, he's jammed it all in and he's bluffed it all off. $800,000. Gone. Like that. Into the nuts.
Okay, so we got time.
So you want to play the big one next?
A $16 million heads up match, Kevin. You excited or what?
This is the biggest stakes we've seen, am I right? I mean, 6 million was the max against everyone else. He's just decided to go 8 million against Bjorn here.
Guns blazing in the final match. And it's queens versus 10-9
so
suited
over.
at the moment.
The hat.
Oh, the hat is on. The marshmallow hat.
Did he say it's so over?
He's so over. He's excited.
Marshmallow run good incoming.
Oh yeah, this is the original hat that Aussie showed up with the first time he visited the Triton stop. And he's going to 3-bet to $800,000, Kevin. And Queens certainly going to 4-bet, I would imagine. What's the play? What's the price?
$2 million.
$2 million with Queens. Is Aussie going to play of 10-9 suited?
I mean, it's traditionally a call against 4-bet. Monarch's been very active pre-flop in the past. You gotta think that Bjorn is capable of stepping out of line from time to time. But on the first hand,
Could be a 4-bet pot. Aussie makes the call. There's $4 million pre-flop and $6 million back. What's the flop? Ace-7-3 rainbow.
clean as it comes for Bjorn Lee.
But it's pretty scary to see an ace out there.
Monarch gonna think this through. Gravity of these stacks clearly not lost on him.
He's led $1 million into 4 in a 4-bet pot.
I think this is gonna look suspicious to Bjorn. Couple of things, right? Hesitation pre-flop before calling. You would think big suited aces, ace queen, kinda happy to put money in, right? This feeling like something more marginal. And now stealing the lead on the ace high board.
He makes the call, $6 million in the middle. The turn is the king of hearts. Aussie just has 10-9, but Bjorn's got 2 overs to worry about now. But would Ketola ever play an ace in this manner? That's the big question.
Just all the cards that you would normally think are favoring the player who 4-bet. Ace and a king on board. Aussie slows down.
Slows down for now, which is a sigh of relief for Bjorn Lee.
Bjorn's gonna have to check this hand, or bet extremely small to try and freeze the action. But there's no reason he couldn't check a set of aces or a set of kings in this spot as well. He does try to freeze the action.
Yeah, just 500,000 into 6 million. Trying to set his own price. Just praying he does not get check raised here.
So hard to give up a pot this size. There's 6 million in the pot. And your opponent's tossed out a single orange chip.
A single orange chip is $500,000. If Aussie can just find a magical check raise, you might be able to win this pot. But how can he? $6.5 million pot. $3 million in profit that hand for Bjorn Lee. The pre-flop open is 200K, called by Bjorn Lee. Top pair versus the flush draw. You know what's crazy for me is that these pre-flop raises, single raise pots, are what the 3-bet pots were. 400K.
It's true. Just 200 straight off the bat.
Interesting. From Bjorn Lee. Goes for a check raise north of min with Queen 8. Trying to invite some loose action from Aussie Ketola.
Yeah, it's an interesting play. You don't expect either players to have many deuces. Does kind of look bluff heavy. The risk here is we're inviting a lot of action, and we don't have a great kicker with our queen.
So 1.3 million in the middle. 7 is a pretty good card for Bjorn Lee. No diamond comes in, no overcard.
Yeah, very safe, but I don't think we're guaranteed to see turn action.
The check raise check line. Top pair, not something you see too often. He must expect that there's a lot of floats that are going to stab when check 2 for him to make this play.
Well, when we don't have a great kicker to go with the top pair, that's definitely the right way to manage this spot. Allow some of the weaker hands to put in bluffs, and don't overinflate this pot against a dominating queen.
Nice restraint shown by Ketola with the flush draw.
After check, might see Lee try to extract value from like ace high, low pocket pairs. He's got the 8 of diamonds, which makes it harder for Aussie to have some bluff if he checks to him again. Fewer missed flush draws available.
That makes a lot of sense. Hence why he's going for value. 800k.
Not many options there for Monarch on the end.
Yeah, Monarch is down 3.5 million this match. Both players with a heart. Bigger heart in Bjorn's hand, but a big pair for Aussie. Pair queens.
Half pot the minimum here. In a limped pot.
Did a little double gutter for Bjorn Lee. 7 or 10 would make a straight for him. Still has that decent heart.
Tempting one to bluff. No showdown value. Good removal. This hoping to clear out pairs that don't have hearts as backup.
This pair does have a heart as backup, but it's a very small heart, the deuce of hearts.
Still think that makes a big enough difference for Aussie to want to continue here on the turn.
Right, just in case you're up against like a straight or 2 pair. So another check call. Pot now 800,000. River card's a 3. So just 1 pair, no kicker for Ketola.
You're unlikely to keep bluffing here. No showdown value, blank river. You've represented strength the whole way. And it's very credible.
Attacking some weaker pairs with a straight draw or flush draw. Maybe hands like 10-9.
Wouldn't be surprised if large sizes are in the cards here for Lee.
Would you call that a large size? 700 to 800? And he's getting snapped off. Well played. Aussie Ketola.
Huge call.
Huge call. $2.2 million pot heading his way.
just kind of call back to that idea. I'm surprised to see a few times he's just kind of passed on the opportunity to collect information at Showdown. And we've seen that a couple of pretty light calls that Aussie's made are going unnoticed now.
Yeah, I guess he feels that the information he reveals is more noteworthy for Aussie than vice versa. But, you know, I kind of agree with you. I think he can use the information slightly better.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that Bjorn wouldn't be able to make something out of that information.
Does have a situation where he's very fortunate with trip kings against middle pair strong kicker. The jack shows up, complicates things for the 9.
Just check calling on the flop. The king 4 suited. Bjorn had check raised earlier and not shown it down. He could have played off of that image, but here just taking the passive line with 3 of a kind. Maybe why Aussie's comfortable betting thin on the turn. I think he expects queen 9 to still be the best hand a good chunk of the time.
And to be fair, it probably would be. Kicker would play against another 9. Could be some ace highs. And comes check call for king 4.
Other thing to note is that Bjorn saw Aussie triple barrel, top pair no kicker early on in round 1, round 2. Forget exactly.
Right.
So he's maybe expecting continued aggression too thin, and this queen 9 is a perfect example of that. This is a hand that needs to check back the river. Action reopened. Bjorn at least calling with trip kings.
Yeah, it seems very ambitious to get called by a worse 9 only. It could be the Jack X you lose to. Or the king, of course. This pot's going to be very costly for Ketola. And in comes the check raise. 1.1 million.
Not a huge raise. You can pretty clearly map it to the strength of this hand. Bjorn understands where he's at.
Yeah, he realized he can only get called by like a jack, hopefully. So don't want to raise too big. But will a 9 get curious? It's really giving this some thought.
King.
And he bet calls it off. Big, big pot for Bjorn Lee. He's crushing this match. 3 bet for Bjorn Lee.
700.
Pocket 10s. This hand could go to war for $4 million apiece if it wants to.
I saw queen 9 off take a stand.
King 9 does not believe and makes the call. There's already 1.4 in the middle. That board texture. Not of much interest for Monarch. 1 overcard to the 2 10s.
Bet 350.
350,000, retaining control. It's a quarter pot. C-bet.
Tempting
Call.
for Aussie.
Wow, he's floating with just king 9 high.
Not a lot of equity here.
Nope. He turns the 9. This is trouble for Ketola. There's 2.1 million in the pot. 2.7 back.
Check.
Bjorn gonna check it. Very tricky spot with the pair of nines. No heart in hand.
Monarch will have the best hand fairly often here, but it's hard to put in additional and get called by worse. Maybe weaker pocket pairs with a heart.
Check.
Something
Checks
like
it.
ace of hearts on its own.
Well, if Bjorn can find a value bet with 2 tens. King 9 is gonna strongly consider call.
Yeah, Bjorn might be getting trapped once in a while, but pocket 10's often good. You think you'd hear from a queen, either on flop and turn at this stack depth.
475.
475,000. I don't see how Ketola could fold for this price.
No, it looks like we're even value catching.
Showdown, please.
Mandatory call.
$3 million pot over to Bjorn Lee. He's sitting on 13.7 million in front of him.
Check.
Little top pair for Aussie.
Bet 80.
Looks like he's going to be able to pick up at least one big blind from Bjorn.
Call. Check.
Pot now at 320k.
Not looking like the best hand to bluff turn with.
Oh, he's going to try. Guess he expects his opponent to overfold a 9 or a 6.
Yeah, I think this just an exploitative attempt. Certainly Bjorn not expecting Aussie to fold top pair, but maybe just passing too often with weaker bluff catchers.
So 920 is the pot size. Ketola makes the call with top pair. Action on Aussie Ketola. A little bit of 7-8 got there.
And that might tempt Bjorn to bluff against check here. He has a 7 in his hand. It's the kind of draw we expect Ketola to have never hit.
All in.
There
Wow,
we go.
Bjorn Leen has gone all in on a bluff, 2x pot. He's asking Ketola for the last 2.1 million. And Ketola only has a pair of kings with a 4 kicker.
I don't know, Randy. Aussie's been pretty willing to call rivers. It's gone well for him in this match.
But this is gross because if he calls and he's wrong against a 2x pot, he's down another $8 million. And he folds the best hand. Bjorn Lee, another well-timed bluff. And Jack 6 of hearts flops a flush against top 2 pair.
Randy, this could be over.
This could be over because Ketola's going to love his hand. How can he not?
Bet 300.
And he c-bets 300k.
That's going to jump out at Bjorn. Unusually large size on the monotone flop. If he reads this as strength, check raise small is reasonable. But you've also just seen Ketola willing to continue firing both with thin value and with bluffs. Why shut him out?
He slow plays, and it's the king on the turn. Ketola's got a full house. What a fortunate turn card to likely give him a full double against the flop flush.
This is a nasty cooler, Randy.
Yes, it is. A poker god shining down on Aussie Ketola.
Once this board runs out, 4 to a flush or double paired,
Bet 700.
I think all this money is headed Monarch's way.
700K is the price. I mean, there's a chance Bjorn just check raises, thinking Ketola's committed with a king. Possible.
It's true, a naked king might get away on certain rivers. And will feel committed with...
All in.
He jams and Ketola. He's got the full house, makes the call. Flush is no good, sir. There was no king or 7. Bjorn could have closed this one out. And instead, the $6.5 million pot goes to Aussie Ketola. Monarch, he's back in this match. Oh, both player has a flush draw.
Check.
If a diamond drops. Oh my god, it's a diamond. Bjorn Lee has the flush, the nut flush versus 4-3 diamonds, the inferior flush.
Reversing the cooler.
Bet 350.
How does he not lose all of his chips here? 350K.
This another chance for Bjorn to slow play potentially and allow a big river bet to come in before announcing the strength of his hand. But if he reads this as strong, why not just raise now?
He is going to raise now.
Raise 875.
It's a small check raise. Doesn't want to lose his customer. Just
Yeah.
in case he's on one pair.
This is cheap. And might even convince Monarch that he's still got the best hand against some kind of 2-pair. 8-9.
Just calls for now. River card brings the ace. That's a little bit worrisome because full houses just got there, and you know we just saw a full house versus flush situation not too long ago.
I also think this is going to stop Bjorn from trying to go after full stacks in this pot. He's going to be worried that Monarch has some ace-10, ace-7.
But with the small check raise, there is still the naked ace-x that's now trips that he can get a lot of value from.
Bet 2 million.
2 million. How does Aussie Ketola get away? He's got a flush. Pot size bet. We've seen him make some amazing folds, but not here
Huh?
today.
Nice flush.
That is good.
That's brutal. $6 million pot for Bjorn Lee. And all that profit from the King 7 gone just like that. 500K is the 3-bet with 10-8 suited and King Queen suited. Certainly gonna at least call in this spot.
Does feel like calling makes the most sense. I don't believe that 4-betting can get value with King-Queen suited.
So $1 million in the middle. And Bjorn in great shape. Pair of queens. Open in the straight draw. Ketola just bottom pair.
I think Bjorn's hand is worth value. 50 big blinds effective. Maybe we'd be more cautious with the full 8 million in play.
Right, just in case your opponent has an ace king, but here you're not as worried. Looks like it's gonna get called by 10-8. $1.8 million now in the pot. Turn card is the 10. Aussie Ketola has tripped 10s out of nowhere.
Starting to look like another cooler.
It's starting to look like Aussie is considering a lead. with the
All
trip
in.
tens. He just jams. Bjorn's like, seriously?
Wow.
$3 million jam into 1.8 million. It's an over bet.
Count, please.
Bjorn needs a count, and rightfully so.
This is very hard to get away from. Ace high flush draw realistic. Nothing stopping Aussie from having check called a weaker flush draw as well. As the pot grows, we've seen Monarch willing to commit the rest of his chips with draws before. Wasn't that long ago that Bjorn got in 2-pair against a straight flush draw.
Big concerns about the 10 for Bjorn Lee. He does have a straight draw, which might be enough to get him curious to go along with the queen.
Call.
He makes the call. $7.8 million pot. Aussie, a huge favorite. Bjorn needs an ace, a queen, or a 9. What a massive spot. It's the 7. Aussie Ketola has ran his stack up to $7.8 million with that pot. Monarchs, he's in the zone.
Thanks.
Stacks refreshed, Randy.
And he's the type of guy who can get so much value when he makes a hand. It was up like 6 million or so.
Feels bad.
Feels bad, man. But feels good when you get 2 kings on the puck. Pair of 7s for Aussie Ketola. Gonna get into some trouble, as the kings should be looking to build a pot.
The 300.
3/4 pot, that's a big bet.
Call.
Makes the call, already $1 million in there. Jack of hearts. Both players have a flush draw.
Check.
I think Lee will continue seeking value with the backup of the King of Hearts. Not a pretty turn card for 2 kings.
Does bet 700,000. Tricky spot for 7-6. Unclear which outs you're looking for.
Do think the hand qualifies for continuation. Monarch has folded stuff like this in the past, but he's hanging tight.
$2.4 million. The 8 changes things. A 9 would make a straight. Is it going to be one of those Monarch leads? And I feel like it would be credible to be a 9, but he will check.
Check. Showdown, please.
Very fortunate for Bjorn Lee. He did not want to face a lead in that spot.
No. Would have been very tough to put on the cape.
9s and pocket 8s. Oh man,
Raise 200.
chips could just go in.
Bjorn not a lock to 3-bet this, but if he does, setting up a cooler confrontation.
Bjorn is going to 3-bet
Raise.
Kevin to 800,000, and we've
Call it.
seen spots where he just jams. Is the 8's going to call it off? Because if it does, it's going to be the biggest pot in televised history.
Count, please.
A count is requested. Can he find the fold with 2 8s?
Aussie jammed so fast here. Maybe a chance for Bjorn to get away.
But Aussie was also jammed fast with weak hands before. So it's $5.5 more million.
3, 5, 6, 6.2.
Can tell he hates this. Saw Monarch jam pocket queens the other day. You know this could be top of range.
Or it could be bottom of range. What you gonna do, Bjorn Lee? Action's on you.
This would be a massive
I
fold.
call.
He calls the biggest pot in televised history, $12.7 million.
Biggest pot.
Outpit by 1. Bjorn needs an 8 to close this match.
Don't hit it.
Monarch requesting to not let his opponent hit the 8. Onto a flop. 10, 7, 6, 2 hearts. Exchange the outs from 8s to 9s. %, for Bjorn Lee. 3 on the turn. One more chance for Bjorn Lee. 2 9s in the deck. $12.7 million pot. Tension building. River card is the deuce. Aussie Ketola, Monarch, wins the biggest
What
pot
time is it now?
in televised history.
So this is 5.
20 past 4.
He still has 3.3 million. We've seen Aussie Ketola run up a smaller stack in this very specific match. He's got 7-6 suited versus Queen 10 suited. Diamonds covered.
Raise 300.
300k from Aussie Ketola. And it feels like 7-6 of diamonds needs to call in position, right?
Oh yeah, well strong enough to call, Randy. We're headed to a flop.
And if we do head to a flop, it'll be 600k in the middle, which we do. Bjorn's flop, an open-ended straight draw. Maybe an opportunity for him to get back in this match. Aussie, though, quickly checking Queen 10 high. And a check back from Bjorn.
Yeah, Bjorn doesn't want to face check raise at this stack depth. Low open ender. 3 million back. Just hoping to improve or get checked to a couple of times.
Well, Aussie's betting with Queen high. What did he make it? 375.
Still a clear call in position for Bjorn. We got a clean open ender. If we are behind, and sometimes we get checked to on the river and get the chance to bluff.
Right on. 1.35 is the pot. Makes the best hand with the pair of 6s. But will that pair be put to the test by Aussie Ketola? A lot of orange chips in hand.
It'd be a bit unusual to be all in here. Maybe some smaller size.
He bets 1.5 million. It's north of pot.
1.5 is nice still. Representing an ace. pretty consistently, I think.
Especially with the way he plays. Ketola could just have a naked ace. Doesn't have to be 2 pair plus to bet this size, right?
No, any ace for sure.
Bjorn has the best hand with a pair of 6s. He can make this call. He's back in the match.
5 seconds.
The time pressure. And he folds.
Nice bluff.
Nice bluff confirmed. And 7's an ace-8 suited. Chips could go in here, Kevin. He's only playing 3 million back. And I feel like Ketola's going to 3-bet this hand. Oh, he just puts them all in. 7's. Is it going to call off for $3 million against the 2 overs?
Call.
He makes the call. A $6 million coin flip here. Ketola needs an ace or an 8 or diamonds to finish this match. Bjorn, all in, slight favorite.
He doesn't look happy about it.
How can he? He's on a coin flip for $6 million bucks. Let's see a flop, Kevin. Oh my God, it's 10, 8, 3, 2 diamonds. He's got the pair, the nut flush draw. Only 2 7s in the deck.
Win this one.
Could be very tough.
Never know.
The 3 on the turn means he needs a 7. And that's it. Aussie Ketola Monarch has won this $8 million apiece match. $16 million. He beats Bjorn Lee.